This was our big week, as you know. We got our the full update from MLS, and then we also got the Arizona Commerce Authority, and there's something big that they just announced this last week as well. So it's a really big week. So let me pull up the stats. So how are you guys doing? Hey, Fred.
There's Fred.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hey, man, Fred.
Doing pretty good.
Cool. I tried to call you last week. Is everything good with your cell phone? Was going direct to voicemail or saying that it wasn't able to connect. Is everything good?
Yeah, I tried to go in last week and I wasn't able to.
Oh.
Said that you had another meeting going on.
Yeah, last week with the holiday, I sent out an email that we weren't having a meeting. Sorry if people missed that. Sent it out on Sunday. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in because this is the meeting that I love. Like, especially when it comes to December, because that's the official year over year that matters, right? And there's just so much information to go through. So, hey, Ruth, how are you?
Good morning. Hi, everyone. Hey, Fred.
Hi, Ruth.
Hey, Marilyn.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
This is great. We got 4 of the 5 realtors here, which is truly what matters. That's beautiful. Okay. So monthly sales, 88.14. What's the significance of month over month from November to December going up?
No.
I'm sorry, Josh. Repeat your question again. I'm sorry. I got lost there for a moment.
The sales were up month over month, 2.8%, and this is from November to December. Okay, so what's the significance of actually going up between November and December?
Well, I think a little bit of that may have been.
It doesn't look like a lot.
No, not too much. Do
Looks pretty stable.
Do you think any of that has to do with the fact that people were afraid interest is going up? So they're, even though it was like the holidays and stuff, they were still trying to purchase properties because they're thinking that, we're going to have a rate increase here before long?
There you kind of nailed it. Okay, so number one, just take it at the surface. The fact that we went up for November to December is not normal.
Yeah.
Right? And that alone is what's significant about it. But why is exactly my next question. And I think you nailed it right on the head.
Yeah.
I think people are expecting things to happen this year and they did want to jump in.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. Although I haven't, what's the actual availabilities on the market right now?
Okay.
Has that changed much?
Monthly sales, as we see, were technically down year over year, but we see that selection, the market really changed. So while we're still hopping, for some reason, my YouTube randomly starts playing on its own.
Possessed.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like it's only good for pause is only good for like 5 minutes or something. I don't know. Okay, so a selection and everything as a whole. Sorry, my screen's over here where you guys are. My camera's over here. So it dropped, but it's still very hopping. But as a whole, it just went whoop because of selection, etc. Right? So here we go. New inventory month over month, pow,
Wow.
and year over year, not quite as much of a pow.
So is that the current availables right now? 6,200?
According to the MLS, and
Holy
this
cow.
includes a couple of things that we, So, yep. New. Well,
I
that's
haven't
new
even
inventory.
checked
So
them
this
for a
is what
couple
was
weeks.
added.
That's
It's not the total inventory.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we
That's way down.
ended the year where we started. It was a very crazy year with inventory because with as much as we sell, 8,800, is 6,200 even remotely enough to come to the market?
No, not even close.
And that's where December really kind of will hit us always, because a lot of people will just never list their home in December. Fundamentally, people just do not want to do it. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're like, nah, usually, right? So
that's true. Yeah, they've got their lights up, they have their tree up, and they have, people coming in and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they don't want to list homes during that time.
Yep. So you'll see year over year, it was really, really close. So that's not huge, but you'll see. I mean, the fact that November was boom and it dropped that significantly. But here we go. So total inventory, 8,600, which now you can really see year over year and month over month the realities. Right? So with that, what do you guys think of it's hard to quantify the fact that how much has the Phoenix area, i.e. Maricopa County, how much has our population grown over the last, let's say, 5-6 years, especially, and then add in the fact that our inventory is stagnant. It's, it should be going up proportionally with our population. It should be going up proportionally with a couple different factors, with jobs, things like that. It has not. It's actually gone backwards. Our population has gone forwards. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it's increased. You can see what it's done to rentals because people can't find housing to buy. So I think it's increased the pricing of our rentals substantially. So it's priced lots of people right out of the rental market.
Yeah, Ruth, 1 second.
Can you hear me?
I'm getting terrible reception. Else hear her?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, I was just saying that I think, part of the reason that rentals are so high right now is that because there's not enough homes available, people have chosen to, either sell their home. We have a couple of new tenants that have sold their home and aren't purchasing again for right now. They're, hanging on to their money and they're renting for a little while.
Did anybody hear what Dave Ramsey said about that?
No, tell me.
This last week, he was actually, I listen to him in the background all the time. I love him. And he was mentioning that he does not feel this is a bubble. He does not. And he does not recommend people hold off and wait because they're expecting something that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Yeah.
It's definitely
I agree. I'd agree with that to some extent. Absolutely.
Well, even if it slows to a normal thing, it doesn't behoove people to wait because they're expecting a drop that's not going to be there. So even if it slows down, it's still not going to get any cheaper, and it's going to be that much more expensive when they go in, no matter what.
Right.
Best case scenario, just a little bit. Worst case scenario, significantly, and especially when the interest rate goes up. So he was the only caveat he said is that that's a nationwide view. As a whole, he said, look at your individual markets, because he says, he obviously doesn't know the nuances of every sub market, but he says there's no doubt as a whole, it's not going to pop. Let's say that. Best verbiage for it. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think that I agree with that to some extent. Because I was listening to the news early this morning and, they were saying, well, the Fed's maybe not going to be, every time they say something about raising interest, the market drops substantially. So they're maybe saying that now they're not going to raise the interest. So if that happens, then Dave Ramsey is right. It's not going to make a bit of difference. Our bubble's going to be it's going to be the same. There's not going to be a bubble to burst.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the indicators that there's a need for a what's the proper question? What makes a bubble market to begin with?
Demand.
No, demand doesn't make a bubble. Markets are always like this. A bubble means
Yeah, like we had in 2006.
Right? Markets are always cyclical. So just because a market's going to soften and they potentially, decline does not make a bubble. It's a standard market, So for people to expect prices to go up, yeah, that's unreasonable. Okay. But for them to also expect remember how many great recessions such as 2008 were there prior to 2008?
Yeah. Lots.
No, that was actually historically significant. That was a once in a lifetime experience. If you go back, the nearest thing to that specific thing would have been the Great Depression, which even then it wasn't the same. Seriously, people experience something in their lifetime and now they think that's going to be the norm because it happened, right? No, the market, our population in Phoenix is so strong. Okay. Our population growth is just whoop, right? Our economy is whoop, our job growth, whoop, the professional jobs, the amount of jobs in the specific jobs that are coming here are all fantastic, right? So as a nation, we're pretty strong. I mean, there's certain things happening right now that can affect it, right? Like, I think I saw something today, and I don't want to be a fearmonger by any stretch of the imagination, but I imagine if something does happen hypothetically with Russia, it's going to affect something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And inflation is definitely there. There's no getting around the fact that there's inflation. But what's going on underneath is it a house of cards, such as interest-only loans, such as all these single family people buying a primary residence purely to flip that primary residence next year? Right? And as a whole, in your opinion, and let's actually quickly ask each of you truly, okay? In your words, quantify the stability of the Arizona market in particular, okay? As in 2008, we know what it was. We know the types of loans, we know their motivations, we know everything, right? Right now, we are experiencing a great market, but with the underlying factors. So in your own way, compare the two. In your opinion, how close are they or how different are they? Make sense?
I think Arizona is kind of like its own little entity. So when there's other areas of the nation that are really struggling with housing, we appear not to be in that cycle with them as severely. 2006, 2007, 2008, I was so busy. And I wasn't involved in anybody getting shady loans or anything like that. It was just the way the market was, for even regular people. I didn't have anybody that went and, I used the same loan officer all the time and the same requirements for the people to qualify. But
do you have any idea the amount of interest-only loans they were doing as opposed to what would be good 30-year, conventional mortgages? Do you have any idea?
I don't, but I know it was a lot. I mean, I know there was a lot of, financing that was, not good, caused people to lose their homes.
Yeah. So do you think your person was actually helping to shield people? And that's also what allowed you to help primary residence people? Like, do you think that you were helping more? Did more of your clients get conventional loans than interest-only loans at that point in time, in your opinion? What do you think?
None of my clients got interest-only loans.
There you go. Mm-hmm. My parents got an interest-only loan on their house.
Yeah, well, the problem with interest-only
So obviously, I think you had a great lender, and I think you're a good realtor, and I think that you kind of had a nice shield that you guys, without whether you meant to or not, protected yourselves from a lot of that other chaos, and that's why you have repeat clients today, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Some of those people I sold homes and they've since sold them, and I've sold them other homes. But I mean, if you're working with a good lender, and they're going to steer them away from that kind of financing. They just are,
Yeah, Yeah, my dad thought, my dad was hoping to kind of leverage it, not necessarily that he was going to sell that house, but I know he was hoping to be able to refi and actually do a couple other things, what a lot of people were doing. He was hoping to be able to buy some other properties. And then when the market collapsed, they were one of my first listings. I started them off at 324 something. And then we ended up selling that home as I think the bank ended up taking it back because Chase actually declined their, they even went to, remember those big events where they had the modifications, where you come here, we'll modify it on the spot. They went to like 3 of those, never got it modified. Chase, they'd throw them under the bus, but Chase screwed them bad. And so that was ironically, I think in our 3 or 4 years where we were doing probably, 30, 40 short sales a year between Dad and I, his was one of like 2 or 3 that actually it went to foreclosure. I forgot about that till just now. Yeah, crazy. So, that market was completely different. So Marilyn, what do you think? Stability wise, different markets, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense what's going on now. It just keeps to go up, 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 up. It's got to stop.
Yeah. So when it stops, do you think it's going to have a level off and softening, or do you think that it is going to be a pop and we're going to have a 20-30% decrease,
No, I don't think so. The demand is still there. We're in a different market.
Yeah.
But how can the houses go up 100,000 a year? Who can pay for them?
Yeah.
Well,
I know we're getting people here, but still.
That $650,000 home right up the way for me. Finally went under contract.
Wow.
I'm anxious to see what it actually sells for.
oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Fred, what do you think?
Well, even in today's market, I have a neighbor close to me that's been renting their home, and the owners inherited, live in California, and they informed them that they want to sell it. But the home is an old Sun City West home, 1979, probably about 1,500 square feet, and they're asking $450,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the big problem is they cannot afford the payments on the loan. So, even though interest rates are low, the payments are still high.
Yeah.
So, and we have a lot of builders out here. I'll tell you, new homes, they may be offering different incentives for new buyers, but there's a lot of construction going out here on the west side.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But for me to find a home for this person in the amount that they can afford is going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and remove my other camera here. Can you guys see me?
I see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll help my computer run more. I just disconnected my other monitor. Okay, so
Look at the rents. The rents are outrageous.
yeah, well that what Fred said led me to pull this up. So you can see significantly right here, like if you look at December, 13, 29, and it's just a steady drop. And you can see almost month for month, it's the same thing. Going each year, you can see the fluctuations. But if you go year for year, very few of them went up. And if they did, it was very small, 36 down to 15, 38 down to 16. And that's selection. And obviously, closed rentals, the closed rentals is not because there's not a market. It's not that we don't have 3,000, people worth of people looking. It's the selection's not there. The selection of rentals is stupidly small. And that's why they're sustaining. And I think this hovered. What was it? I think it peaked out at 2,100, right? 2,105 or something like that. And then over the last 2 or 3 months, I think this might have actually fallen a smidge. Don't quote me on that. I think it was like at 2090 or 2095 last month. Do you guys remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, let's go.
What I'm seeing a lot of is lower end housing has increased maybe more than higher end housing. So houses that used to rent for $2,000 now maybe rent for, $2,200 or $2,300, but apartments that used to rent for $650 now rent for $1,050. So, you're seeing that, and typically in Phoenix with the rental market, people would build and build and build and then would get overbuilt and then you'd see prices drop. But those, we're not seeing that now. They're building and they're full.
Supply chain, that has also impacted. Did you guys, have you noticed that prices of materials are starting to level off a little bit?
Yeah, starting to.
So they're definitely not where they were 2 years ago, but they like lumber has come down just a little bit, drywall has come down just a little bit, a few other things. So yeah, well, let's keep going. Let me share this screen here again, and hopefully this works well. Okay, yeah, now I have you guys back on my screen. Perfect. Okay, so new inventory 8,600, which, as we know, what they call 8,600 is not actually, total inventory, is not actually 8,648 once we remove the CCBSs and UCBs. So let's keep going. Now 5,791 is what they say. Now let's go ahead and pop over here. And can you see the MLS now, or are you still looking at the other screen?
Let's see. Okay, it's changing.
Okay. Quick search. Let's see what we're at. Active and coming soon, 5,933.
Well, that coming soon has become a big thing, and they always, they sell before they get active most of the time.
Yep. If we remove the coming soons, we're down to like 5,100. I think it is. Why is my computer acting silly? 53. Okay. So still about 10% of the market is what would be classified as coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
we never used to have coming soon.
Nope. That was, when did they add that? About a year and a half ago. And that.
Yeah. A couple years ago.
So they say we have 0.98 month supply, but that's at their 8,600 because they're comparing 86 to 88. Okay. We don't actually have 86 to 88. What we actually have is, what was it? 5294. 5294 technically.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do the numbers on that one really fast. $52.94 divided by 88.14 is just a little over half a month.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going off of, we seem to be going in round numbers for a 5-week month. So let's call it 3 weeks of a 5-week month. So if nobody lists their home today, we will run out of homes in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's about right.
Thoughts on that?
Are you? Do you think you're seeing houses on the market a little bit longer right now? Starting to be on the market a little bit longer?
Well, we'll come to that on DOM here shortly.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think yes, a little bit.
It's slightly longer days on market.
Slightly longer.
Okay. Well, average sales price. Let me move the picture over here. Okay. Average list price up 19.3% year over year Median, which is the one that we really care about, is up 30.3%. Because obviously your $2 and $3 million homes did not go up nearly as much as our most active part of the market, which is $300,000-$400,000 homes. All right, makes sense.
Yeah.
So median up 30.3% list price. Now, in and of itself, people can list homes at whatever they want, and that doesn't actually mean anything unless people are willing to buy, which is why the sales price is what's truly, truly, truly significant. Because when was the last time we saw that? Year over year median, 28.2%.
Well, it's like Fred said, we'd like to sell our home, but then we have to buy another one. So, at 67, do we want to get, to where we have a payment again? Yeah, probably not.
Well, luckily it depends on the home you'd move to, how much payment you'd actually have. And you have some options there, right? Sorry, I'm covering handyman today, so my phone keeps blowing up. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's the dilemma everybody has.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now here's what you really need to break down, because everybody's situation is a little bit different, okay? You being on the close verge of retirement, I would honestly look at a reverse mortgage for yourself, because you're not even going to come close to maxing it out. You won't have a payment, and it's going to be actually wonderful for you guys, right? And it really depends on your goal for your kids, because no matter what, they're going to be able to sell it too. So if you're going to downsize, you're going to be sitting pretty, okay? You won't have a payment, and it's still going to go up, whatever you'd like to do, right?
Yeah, we would downsize. We would, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your case, you would not have a payment. You'd walk away with some cash. And then here's the big thing that as realtors, we have to be able to communicate to our clients today, because this literally makes the difference between selling a home or not. Yes, your battle is to buy a new home. Well, guess what? It's a lateral move. Homes that you're buying are no more expensive than the homes you're selling. Okay. Yeah. It's the same market. Okay. Yeah. So what you have to be able to do is draw the line from, okay, we're here right now. And forgive me, I don't know if you're seeing me backwards or the other way, but we're here right now. Okay. So actually here, I'll put it in the middle. Okay. So if we're here right now, okay, do we think the market's going to go up for, let's theoretically say the next 12 months, it's going to go up, but maybe soften a bit?
Yeah, I think that's the mark.
Yeah, it's not only price, it's availability.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go with me here, because we'll touch on both of those. So we honestly think it's not going to be like, wah, but it's probably going to be like this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, I think.
Okay. So right now, if you make your transaction today, okay, are you still going to build equity same as your new house currently?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So are you going to lose any money if you do sell?
No, but I don't think my old house will build equity as fast as a newer home.
Well, that's a different ballgame, because you personally would be downsizing. So downsizing obviously means, because it's all going to be the same percentage. Okay. So if markets go up 30%, if you have a $500,000 home, that 30% is $150,000. Okay. If you have a $200,000 home, that 30% is $60,000. Okay. Yeah. It's all 30%, but it really depends on your home. Right. So if you have a downsizing, you're not going to rate the same appreciation as your bigger, nicer home with a diving pool. Not nicer home, but bigger home with a diving pool.
Not in actual dollars, but percentage-wise, it should be equal.
But because you're looking at price per square foot, you have less square feet. You might actually even go to a better neighborhood, and it might even rival. There's a lot of factors to that future. But the fact is, as long as the market's going to go up for the next 12 months, 18 months, it's safe and good for people to go ahead and make their move market to market, because you're still going to be reaping the appreciation. And even if it softens, it's not going to hurt you at all. Okay. The only downfall is if you buy your home theoretically today, okay, at the peak, and let's say it does fall about 3 or 4%. You yourself now lost a little bit of money. Well, that sucks, but will it come back up? Yes. And do you have your new home? A lot of people will want to move up, in which case that new home is going to get higher appreciation, right? But no matter what, you're still going to get the appreciation given the market is decent. So for some reason, people make this connection. Yeah, but I have to buy a new home, and they connect it with losing money. That doesn't make sense because it's the same market and the same angles and the same everything. You know what I mean? So as long as you can convince people that for the next 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, it might soften, but it's not going to go down. Therefore, they are going to lose money if they don't sell. If they're going to go up, and if they want to go up in home, they should go up now, because if they're going to buy a $450,000 home, that $450,000 home is going to go up a little more, and it's going to be $500,000. You might as well buy it now and have that $500,000 home when it hits that point. You know what I mean? That's a better next home. You, Ruth, you people that are looking to downsize, you're the ones that have to make that figure, because your new home is going to cost X amount of money, and hopefully you're going to pay cash for it and walk away with some other money. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So as your new home goes up as your current home goes up in value, so is your new home. So theoretically, that's where inflation is going to bite you. And I would try to do it. That's the only thing that I would keep in the back of my mind, because if the dollar is going to be worth less, you're not going to walk away with as much cash, in which case figure that out. And that's kind of why I like the reverse mortgage idea for a lot of people right now, because it's a wonderful hedge against inflation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 So if you're moving up, that's my opinion. If you're going to be retiring, you also have my opinion. So everybody knows what I say. Any thoughts? Does anybody disagree, or do you agree with that?
Oh, no, I agree. And even, for someone younger, if you're in your 40s or even early 50s and you're looking to move up and you're in a home like mine and looking to move up into something else, you're right about that. That the inflation on their new home will far outweigh, the benefits of staying in their old home to some degree. I mean, this is a crazy mixed up market. And I showed one in my neighborhood a couple of weeks ago for $545,000. I mean, that's just craziness. But I think you're right. The interest is low. I mean, seriously, when I bought my first house, I think the interest was, I had a first at 8.5 and a second at 10.5. So
back in 2008, I think when we bought our house in Surprise there, I think we were right at 7%, like on the dot.
Yeah. So they don't even have any idea, of what that is or what that feels like. We bought a brand new truck in 1982, and the interest on that thing was 17%.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 1982. I bought a brand new Cadillac in 2003, and the payment was less than what was on that Ford that we bought in 1982.
Yeah.
So, they don't understand that, how, because most of these young ones, they're accustomed to the interest rate being low.
And they all saw their parents get ruined 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And I had to say it, but a lot of people did not set a good example. If you put in a pool, you put in a pool. If you decided to cash out refi and buy a freaking Tahoe, you cashed out refi and bought a Tahoe. It's not like you didn't get that money. You know what I mean? So
right.
A lot of people just had a very perspective that, yes, I maxed out the equity on my home. Of course, the market fluctuates, but everybody who kept their home today, it's not even a question. Had they kept their home today, they actually would have a home that's worth more, and their payment would have been 15 years worth of paying off your mortgage. There's no doubt you would be sitting wonderful today, better than a lot of other situations. So okay, but here, let's one last little analysis. Not last, but we're getting towards the end, guys. They're predicting 427 to 430 in 1 month. Okay, so in 1 month, if you take the average price home of, let's say, 430, like they're saying, okay, $430, and it's going up $3,000 in 1 month. I know it's not exactly 1%, but is that not near 1% in 1 month?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay, so let's just apply that to the rest of the year. Is it safe to say they're possibly predicting about a 10% increase this next year?
At least.
At least, yeah. What's our norm? What's our norm? About 7%, 5 to 7%? I mean, in a market not like this market, but I don't know. We don't know what a regular market is anymore.
Appreciation for a home is between 3 and 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was really good at between 3 and 4. Really, I'm pretty sure if we go back throughout history, 3 and 4% is probably the norm.
I think, yeah.
Because there's so many factors to it. You got the tax benefits, you got the, be able to depreciate. I mean, there's so many things that are good about homes. And then if you have a rental property, because people should not be buying their home for the return. Your primary residence is your primary residence. Your goal is to live there, love it, pay it off as fast as you can, own it. It's your home. And then someday you sell it and downsize, and that home is paid off and you have cash to walk away from. Ruth and Marilyn, you basically did it. You guys are in your peaks, or I mean, whatever you want to call it, and you don't have a house payment. How amazing is that?
Right.
That alone is worth more than not having a house payment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. When Mike decided that he wanted to retire in his, when he was 55, we, at that point had a kid going to, Phoenix Christian High School, and we wanted to move to Central Phoenix. Well, so we had to sit down and say, okay, if we move to Central Phoenix, we're going to buy a house that still needs to be remodeled. And if we stay where we are, we can pay it off and we won't have a mortgage payment. And that's what we did. We went and paid it off. So we were 50 or 52 maybe. And Mike retired at 56. So yeah, but what I was going to say is all of our friends were moving into bigger, better homes at that age. Kids were all teenagers and they needed more space and that kind of stuff. So we made the conscious decision to stay where we were. So, I mean, we had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, fireplace, and a big diving pool. So it worked for us to just stay here. So, that you have to make that decision, but it also worked for some of our friends that bought bigger, better homes and live in nicer neighborhoods. So, you have to figure out what works for you, like Dave Ramsey says, that's what we decided to do, not because of Dave Ramsey, but that's just what we decided to do because he wanted to retire without a house payment.
I mean, and think about it. How much earlier was he able to do it? Do you guys guesstimate because of your decision?
Well, we had refinanced our house down to, retire a lot earlier because we didn't have a house payment. But we had done some things like, refinanced down to 15 years and paid it off in 10. So, So we just did something, but that meant, I kept working and whatever. So that was a decision that worked for our family. Yeah,
it's good for you to support your husband's golf excursions.
That's exactly the truth of it.
So there you go. Distressed properties still down. I mean, year over year, and it's not like there were many of them to talk about to begin with. So down 75% year over year. So there were a total of 2 short sales sold and 9 lender-owned sales.
Wow. I can remember showing foreclosure properties all the time. A lot of years ago, not anymore.
That's insane. That's crazy. Yep. Yeah. And that was the this is again coming back since he's been a theme of this meeting. When he mentioned distressed sales, it was so crazy how back in the day, when you think about the word distressed, okay, 2 people are coming to a party, okay? In a normal sale, neither parties are distressed. So 2 parties walk away. It's not to say somebody's not getting a better deal than the other, but two people have an agreed upon price where they both walk away what would be pleased. You both agreed on a sale. Nobody's backwards to a wall. It's supposed to be equitable for whatever reasons for both parties. Make sense? Okay. Now, back in the day, did you even think about the fact that almost every single person we were working with, their back was against the wall? Every single person?
No.
Distressed property means somebody was going to lose no matter what. And that somebody, and it's so unfortunate that that was the norm. But today we are dealing with people who are, most people could even sell it to a wholesaler today and not lose money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And I think banks are still working with people. I sold a house in Dynamite Mountain Ranch a couple of years ago. Beautiful big home. They both lost their jobs and they got the mortgage company to put it onto the end of their loan. So they're still living there. They're not distressed. They're working again. And so, yeah, so I think banks are still willing to work with people.
But it's so funny because it's like, okay, it comes back to it's the right thing to do. Right? But even as a bank, is it the logical, profitable thing to do to maybe potentially work with somebody for a couple months over the course of 30 years? It absolutely does. It's not worth them proceeding anything. So
no. It's not. No, not when you figure, they're still going to get their money if they tack it to the end. And if they don't, most vindictive people on their way out are going to destroy the place. So
exactly.
Why run that risk? Just work with them and
even the average price short sale didn't it cost the bank close to like $30,000 in the average foreclosure?
It did, of course.
Like 40 or 50, I forget. It was ridiculous. But there you go, Ruth. You called it. Year over year, down 7 days, but month over month, we went up by 2. So I really don't know because, I mean, right now we're absolutely correct, but year over year down 7 days, that's significant in the context of where we're talking 40 days to begin with or so. So, down 7 days, if we're at 36 right now, then that means, we would be, because cumulative days on market 2019 to 2020 was 43. There you go. So that was 43. So 7 minus that's almost 20%. Holy crud. It's funny when you look at days, 43 to 36 doesn't seem like that much, but it is. That's over 10%.
That's a week.
That's nearly. So realistically, I see it, I think it depends on the market, obviously, and it depends on the price point. $700,000 home might be on the market a few more days than obviously a $400,000 home. But as long as we are seeing this inventory, I don't see how it's not going to continue just being shorter. I mean, we might see a fluctuation of 1 or 2 days, but I don't see anything. I see it going up at this point. Like the day the interest rates go up, absolutely. And then the day we see it hit like a truly active home of about 6,000, let's call it 6,500. That's when we're going to start even remotely talking about better. I mean, 6 million people, if we're supposed to have 8,000, the 8,800, I love the numbers. And it's hard to wrap your head around millions of people. 8,800 homes times 3 is 26,400 homes. So that would theoretically be the minimum we should have in a normal market.
How many did you say again in a normal market?
If we're going off of the 8,800 sales per month, that would be 26,400 to give us 3 months.
That's about right. Yeah.
That's just 3 months. That's not even like 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months. A lot of people say that like 4 months is a good supply. hovering around 3 means it's pushing a seller's market. Hovering over 5 is a buyer's market. So everybody thinks that like right around that 4-month mark is like truly the magic number. So realistically, we should have closer to 30,000 homes. Let's just call it around 30,000 homes.
Yeah. 28,000.
Yeah. So on that note, I would roughly say that until we even reach, $8,000 truly active homes, I don't think we're going to really see much of an impact because there's just too many people. Okay, that leads me to the last thing because I think that was it, right? The days on market, and then they go into the whole spiel. So he's predicting expect to see prices higher during the next 12-15 months with appreciation rates possibly rising over 20%. So Fred nailed it when he said, oops, sorry about that, my computer died.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, we were wrapping up anyway. I just had one last thing I wanted to show everybody because it kind of hit on our economy. And I have to pull it back up since my computer died. I lost all my all the windows I had up. So give me one quick second. So here we go. So there's an announced Friday that's semiconductor powerhouse, right? So this is the normal Friday update. Okay, but the Sunlight Chemicals was the one that they gave the special news announcement for last week. That because of the Taiwan semiconductor place, Sunlight Chemical is opening right next door with an over $100 million investment it'll be opening in 2023. And they're the ones that will be supplying a lot of the needs for the semiconductors, right? So one huge investment just led to a huge other investment with ridiculously more jobs. That area around Carefree Highway is just going to be exploding. Seriously. Then we watched Arizona Spotlight, 10 Arizona Star apps to watch. A couple really good stuff there. The leading economic development selected Core Power as one of the 3 deals of the year, record number of ventures across the country. And they're the ones with the 1 million square foot battery manufacturing supply in Buckeye that's going up there. Then you've got Arizona's thriving economy continues to reach new heights, adding 400,000 new jobs. Okay. And then if you add in what the average family is for those jobs, that's a lot of people. The state hit another milestone after achieving a 4.1% unemployment rate in December. And what's the significance of that is it's the lowest rate since before the recession back in 2008. Right, so there you go. Is now a leading physical therapy software provider, expecting to serve 25,000 clinics. That's good, but it's actually it's software, so it's not actually people there, but it's an impact that we're gonna have. So can you believe that? Another $100 million facility going up next to the semiconductor place, and then we got the 1 million square foot place going up in Buckeye, and then again 400,000 new jobs. How incredible is that? What do you think, Marilyn?
We're growing. You can see it in traffic.
Yeah. It's insane. It's amazing. So yeah. Plus it's snowbird season. So it's more people plus the snowbirds right now. So yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's basically it. So thank you for your time today. Any other comments before we head off to have an amazing week? So it's right around, it's about 10,000, within 10,000 of asking, just about. Not within, just a hair over maybe.
Yeah, but then you said it needed to be finished off, so that would.
But the value of the home is there right now. When it's finished, the nice homes in
Rear
ranch are going in the sixes. All of them in that, the comparable homes of that one are in the sixes now. So somebody's hopefully getting a good deal.
Didn't have a pool.
No, but it's 4,100 square feet.
41, yeah, it was 4,100.
Yeah, I mean, even at 625, let's call it 625 divided by 4101. That's barely $150 a square foot when you're talking the average home in Greer Ranch is over 200. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull them up here really quick just to see.
My girlfriend has a 2,800 square foot Richmond American home. And I don't even know what it would comp out at. I've given up, really.
Where is it? Right there, like in Mountain Vista Ranch? Where is it?
No, it's Greer Ranch. It's a
Oh, it is
Richmond
in Greer
American
Ranch
home.
over there.
It's 15623 West Poinsettia.
Yeah.
Right. And I keep trying to figure out really what the value is.
Well, here I'm doing the CMA on Greer Ranch right now.
Do a
here,
real fast comp on it. It
Yeah.
is Richmond American 2014.
yeah, here you go. There you go. Average price sold $195.51. It's the average sold price per square foot. So if you just want to do a neutral comp on it for Greer Ranch, there you go.
So what would that be at 2,800 square feet? Duh.
Well, you just multiply
200.
2,800 by 195. Somebody's ringing through on my phone right now, so I'm not able to use mine. But it would be right around. You said 2,800. 2,800.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, because you'll see here, it's the average home that they're talking about is 2,745, and that puts it at 513. Notice list price 511, sold price 513. They're the average home selling over asking price right now 1.01. So safely, I would say 515. Safely.
And then she says, where does she go giving all that square footage up and it's costing to sell, to buy?
I hate to say it, Marilyn, but for being a realtor, you don't have a realtor perspective.
Not right now, no.
But there's no reason for it because it's not actually accurate. We just had a whole meeting talking about everything. You just need to get over your issue with prices. They are what they are.
Yeah.
And they're proportional to inflation. They're proportional to everything going on. So you can't hear in one ear that it makes sense and the market's going to go up and then tell people not to do something because that's not in their best interest. And that defeats the whole purpose of us being realtors. You do get that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's not giving up square feet given the market goes up. She's selling one to get something else at the same market. Everyone has to pay to sell a home. Everyone does. So there's nobody will ever sell a home for free. I mean, there are costs associated. So get over that because that's just part of it. So does it make sense to sell at $190 some odd a square foot, especially if she's downsizing? Because then she'll walk away with money and she's buying a smaller home. So she will save money, but it might be the same price per square foot. You know what I mean? Or maybe a little bit more price per square foot because it's a smaller home. Yeah. But at the same time, the market's going to keep going up by 20%. So are you going to actually think of it this way? Are you going to do her the injustice of telling her not to move now, but then she'll have to do it in a year when it's 20% higher?
Well, she lived through she lost over $100,000 in the other 2008 one.
Yeah, but that was her choice because she chose to sell. As we talked about in the meeting, anybody that didn't freak out and held their home is actually sitting mathematically every which way you can prove it better.
No, she paid $305 and she sold it for $182, and that's what happened. The crash.
Yeah. But that has nothing to do with today, and that was her decision. So right. I can't speak on that behalf. For whatever reason, she decided to sell her home at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, then she bought this one, and it's up significantly. She paid $260.
Yeah, so she's doubling her money. Doubling your money. That's insane. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can tell, I have a different perspective on this at being a realtor. and then actually believing what I'm telling you. You guys need to believe what you're seeing, and you need to believe it more than anybody, because you're the trusted expert that should be conveying this message to the public, because the public has the wrong idea. They are flat out wrong on if they even mention the word bubble, they're wrong. If they mention prices coming down anytime in the near future, they're flat out wrong. If they talk about it's going to be less expensive in the future, well, you have to educate them. What if they raise the interest rates? Boom, you just lost out right now. Like, everything says they should act now.
Yeah.
Before prices go up any more or interest rates go any higher, they should just do it now. Because if it goes up, they have a home. They're going to get appreciation because they bought a new home. So they're still going to reap the appreciation. If the prices happen to go down, you still bought your home. They will go up and down, right? The only thing that will affect everybody instantly is interest rates. And that will directly impact how their monthly payment more than the price of a home. Okay. A half a point interest is going to be a heck of a lot more expensive in 30 years than trying to get $15,000 off a home today. Right? So if you need help convincing people to buy or sell, call me. I'm good at this. This is what I do. And I it's not that I'm selling. I truly believe it's in their best interest to do this right now. Prove me wrong. And don't use conjecture. Don't use anything other than, well, 2008, or, well, there's going to be a crash, because those are words. There's no proof behind them.
No, it's not.
Right? The proof is in our selection. The proof is in our job market. The proof is in interest rates. The proof is in basically, I mean, add up umpteen number of angles that we talked about tonight. You know, even if interest rates go up, it's still going to take months for the supply to go up based on just the amount of people moving to Arizona and the jobs that are here in general. There's always, when you're dealing with 6.5 million people, there will always be people needing to buy and sell.
True.
So anyway, there you go. I'm stepping off my soapbox. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day. Let me know if you need anything, okay?
Okay, everybody, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week.